and good afternoon or good evening to my Christian brothers and sisters. Of course, like many of you here, I too have a heavy heart knowing that I'm attending a ceremony where we are paying tribute to 11 young people. 11 young people that did not have that opportunity to experience life to its fullest. And you know, we oftentimes say, and some of our religious teachings tell us, that there is nothing like untimely death. But how can you experience something like this and believe that there is nothing like untimely death? When I look at the poster and I see the children, see, Gopal Harilal is the one that captured my eyes. Look how happy he looks there. And you know, when you're a father or when you're a mother, you do everything to protect your children. And only mothers and fathers that lost or would have lost their children understand that pain, that sorrow, that grief. Sad indeed. Very, very sad. I bring you greetings on behalf of the coalition, APNU AFC, and I want to tell you that we are equally saddened by this action. And like the ERC, we also don't want to see such activities occurring in our society. But I can't stand here and say to you that it should not happen, what happened here, it should not happen again when it happened in Berbice, west coast of Berbice, the horrific killing of the Henry boys and Harish Singh. We have to do something as political leaders to lead from the front so that not only should we bridge that gap that is happening in our country with races, but we also need to call for you at the home level to also recognize the importance of educating your children. I believe that education plays a great role in ensuring that racism is suppressed, minimized, or if possible, eradicated. And at the community level, we have to start by loving our neighbors. We have to start by extending that hand of help to our neighbors. We must not just listen to what the books teach us, the religious books, but we must be able to put it into practice. If we preach something, we must practice it. And we must preach good so we can practice good. Human beings like myself and like yourself, we have good tendencies in us and we have bad tendencies in us. We have virtues and we have vices. We have anger, lust, greed, arrogance, and equally so we have love. We have compassion. And we must bring out that virtuous quality or the virtuous qualities that are in us. And we must extend it to our neighbors. We must extend it to other communities. We must extend it to our country so that collectively we can be one people, one nation, one destiny. For too long, politicians like myself and even the ones that are sitting there have been sounding the call and say we're one people, one nation, one destiny. But it is now time for us to ensure that we prove to Guyana, we prove to the Caribbean, we prove to the Western Hemisphere, we prove to the world that indeed we are one people, one nation, one destiny. I say to the young people, that are growing up in this community, you will hear the stories. Those of you who are not born in 2008, you would hear the stories. And even those that were before 2008, you will continue to know what is happening. It's going to go with you for life. But I close with a story that was said to me in 2008 by Sister Mary Noel Meniz. I never forget her name. She said that there was a famous teacher, and this teacher believed that he knew everything and he could not be challenged. And there was a little child that was willing to challenge the teacher. There was this little child that wanted to prove that this teacher does not know everything. And what the child did was to get a little baby bird and put it in his hands. And he clasped his hands like this. And he went to the teacher. And he said, "Oh, great teacher, can you tell me if this bird is alive or if this bird is dead?" And the child knew to himself that anytime the teacher says the bird is alive, he will just squeeze his hands and kill the bird. And open his hands and say, "No, you don't know everything. Watch, the bird dead." And he knew that if the teacher said that the bird is dead, he would open his hands and he would show that there is a bird alive and well. His main focus was to prove that the teacher does not know everything. So he did that and he went to the teacher. He said, "Oh, great teacher, is this bird alive or is it dead?" And the teacher turned to the little child and he said, "The answer to that question lies in your hands. Whether the bird lives or whether the bird dies, it lies in your hands." And I say that to tell you that the answer to us and how we perform our duties while we're here on earth lies in our hands. If we want to be good people, we will be good people. And if we want to be bad people, we will be bad people. Those actions are within us. And it depends on which one we bring forward. I want to take this opportunity to commend the Indian Action Committee in collaboration with Panko Steel Fabrication for the continuation of this night of reflection. And I hope that we will be able to do it in a bigger fashion, hopefully, if COVID goes. But I want you all to recognize that we need to be good citizens of this country so that we can develop it for our own self and for our children and grandchildren. I say to you, COVID is real. Continue to observe the COVID protocols. Continue to recognize that we need to protect ourselves, and we must not at no time believe that we cannot get COVID. So I end on that note, and I say to you again, peace is what we all should be looking for. Thank you.